Very good morning, members of the press. My name is the spokesperson. The context in which we are addressing this press conference. With me here is Lady Stachwayo, our Secretary for International Relations. We are also going to be joined by the President's Chief Election Agent, Advocate Charles Kwaramba, who is going to give us hard facts. Is here actually. So the team is complete. On my far left is Ellen Shiriedenga. She's the Deputy Secretary for Elections Bureau, followed by Mai Tome. She's assisting with the elections, looking particularly at the incidences that have occurred. Then on my immediate left is Advocate Charles Kwaramba, the Presidential Chief Election Agent. I had already introduced Lady Stachwayo, who is our Secretary for International Relations. We are meeting in the context of unprecedented developments in our country. We want to express our gratitude to the SADC Observer Mission, Electoral Commission's Forum of SADC countries, the African Union Observer Mission, the Commonwealth Observer Mission, the European Union Observer Mission, and the Qatar Center Election Observer Mission for their impartiality, dedication, and tireless work in overseeing Zimbabwe's harmonized elections. Their collective efforts to uphold democratic values and provide an assessment for the electoral landscape are commendable. The election observer missions raised and confirmed a series of electoral malpractices which resonate with our own assessments. Recent amendments to the Criminal Law Codification and Reform Act restricting constitutionally guaranteed freedoms, abuse of state resources, exorbitant nomination fees hindering political participation, concern over the judiciary's independence, ZEC's perceived lack of independence and transparency, absence of a transparent voters' roll, reports of violence including the tragic loss of Tinashe Chitsunge, alleged intimidation by entities such as FAZ, concerns over postal and voting procedures, state media bias, voter suppression through alleged material shortages, reports of targeted harassments of domestic observers. Dr. Mumba's unwavering commitment to ensuring transparency in the elections was met with unfortunate threats, including death threats and intimidations, especially from ZANU-PF leaders and supporters. Such actions undermine democracy, and we condemn these acts unequivocally. From the data availed to us through the V11s, we are confident in our strong performance in both the parliamentary and council elections, as our agent will affirm, our chief election agent. Preliminary indications provide reason to believe that President Chamisa is in a favorable position for the presidential victory. We urge the Zimbabwe Election Commission to announce these results promptly and accurately. We call upon all Zimbabweans to maintain calm and peace during this period. We must stand united, vigilant against any efforts to subvert the will of the people. Post-election incidences. The notion of a peaceful election does not capture our experience, and we deeply regret to inform the public of various disturbing instances post the election. Honorable Solomon Hodera, Buera South, was attacked by Ngonidzashe Madukunye, a ZANU-PF candidate at Muzokomba Business Center, together with his chief election agent around 3 p.m. on the 24th of August 2023 during the counting. A police report has been made with reference number RRB 5293436/23. There was a case of arson in Buera where our member Ellen Chakanetsa's house was burnt to ashes. Honorable Dorothy Msonza from Harare South and the agents were abducted at DDF Manyanye and brutally beaten. Our agents were chased away from the polling station. In Highlands, Dorothy Ziuchi and Nomusa Maradzika's house were pelted with stones. Reports were made with the RRB number 47299874. In Maramba Pfungwe, 13 of our members were attacked and to seek refuge in Harare. The FAZ organization reportedly threatened voters and enforced command voting. There have been multiple instances, more than 100 cases actually, of such malpractices. Traditional leaders in regions including Buera, Mutasa, Sanyati, and more were reportedly overseeing and directing Are you together with them? One of the guys who is disturbing our press conference. So this car.
You know, you come and disrupt our press conference on what basis? Who are you? And you are refusing to say out your name to the people. Huh? Who are you? Who are you? Who are you? We have every right to come here. Every right. Who do you think you are? Huh? This is our right that we have to be able to do whatever we are doing. We are not doing anything illegal. This is embarrassing. You are a huge embarrassment to our country. This is so embarrassing. You want to attempt to, subject the will of the people. That's what you're trying to do. You have your ministers, you have your leaders who address press conferences. Were they disrupted? Were they disrupted? You know? They are a huge embarrassment to our nation, I'm sorry to say.
Pass. Sorry, sir. Murimezere now. Hello, chef. Chef, who are you? Who are you? There are some people who just came and disrupted a CCC press conference that was being held at SAPES in Milton Park. These are the cars they are driving. They do not have any plates, except for this one, AFG 2663. So they just came, disrupted. They took the press statement that was being read by Promise Mukwananzi. So we are coming to you live from SAPES, where CCC was having its press conference before some unknown assailants allegedly came and took the speech that was being read by Promise Mukwananzi and disrupted the press conference. They did not say who they were or where they came from, just that they were sent, but could not confirm who sent them. I want the video. I'm a journalist.
Election observer missions, preliminary reports. That's all we wanted to do, and to give our position on what is happening at the current moment in Zimbabwe. But it's really shocking that ZANU-PF functionaries were here, trying to disrupt our press conference. We have every constitutional right to. We didn't do anything that is illegal. We were just trying to address members of the press and to let the nation know about our position on various issues as it relates to the election. So it's quite obvious that these, as ZANU-PF functionaries, they're doing whatever they're doing in the interest of ZANU-PF. I think you could clearly see that's what they're trying to. That's what they're trying to do. Thank you so much. I did not push you, you moved to me. Even you. Hello? 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 Sorry, who is it? All right. Hello? 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 Mukuru? All right. No, that's fine. Okay. All right. No, that's fine. All right. That's okay. That's okay, Mr. President. Okay, I'm going to ask you to go back. We are going to reconvene the press conference. So I'm just calling everyone who was supposed to come in the press so that we proceed our case. Just give us a few minutes to get over.
So, that was Agnes. What are you saying? They will reconvene soon. So.
Shall we start? Okay. Sorry for the inconvenience caused. I think this is a glaring evidence of the environment under which we are operating. You can imagine if people have got the guts to come and try to abduct this national spokesperson of the leading party in Zimbabwe. What about an ordinary voter in Chendambu, in Mzarabani, in Dotito? Our people are not safe, but we are going to do everything we can to secure the peace and security of our citizens. This country is not going back where it was before the 23rd of August 2023. We are in a transition, and we implore our colleagues in ZANU-PF to exercise peace and tolerance. This country does not belong to ZANU-PF. It belongs to all of us. We are all Zimbabweans, and we ought to behave in a manner that makes Zimbabwe a proud nation. We ought to behave in a manner that makes the international community, the region, respect us. This is not on. This is not proper. I urge our colleagues in ZANU-PF to restrain themselves from the use of violence. We are non-violent, we are peaceful, but we are determined to protect the victory of President Nelson Chamisa and the victory of the people of Zimbabwe. It is not about President Nelson Chamisa. It is not about Promise Mkwananzo or Great Dispatcher. It's about Zimbabwe. It's about the Zimbabweans. This is your time to stand and say, we want an accurate result of what transpired in these elections. I'm not going to waste much of your time because of the disturbance that have happened. I'll hand over to the chief election agent of the president to then give you in hard facts all where we are, where we are going. Then we'll conclude our press conference. Thank you. Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much, members of the press. Now, what you've just experienced is such a shame. And it's quite unfortunate that we continue to come here to talk to you, to liaise with you, but our so like I was saying, what has just happened right in front of your eyes is what you would call a shameful thing. It is not what you would expect in a properly functioning democracy. What must be understood is that we are not here to announce election results. The law does not allow us to do that. The only reason we are here is to give the public an update of the current situation as it prevails. Now, you will know that the observers pronounced their verdict on their views of the conduct of the elections. The verdict, as they pronounced it yesterday, this does not come as a surprise to us. Everything that they said, despite and notwithstanding the attacks upon them, is something that we all witnessed. Now, let's go to the polling day. Who did not see that voting delayed in all the constituencies, especially in urban areas? Who did not witness FAZ exit poll desks at most of the polling stations, especially in the rural areas? Who did not witness the fact that at polling stations, some of them, as alluded to in the observer mission statements, there were no voters' rolls? Who did not witness the fact that at polling stations, ballot papers ran out during voting time? All that was unfolding right in front of the public. So, the verdict that was pronounced is something that did not come as a surprise to anybody. The world was watching, Zimbabweans were watching, even those who were complaining and getting angry on behalf of the state were watching. So what we come here to do is not really to go back to what has happened. What we come here to do is to make a clarion call on the electoral management body of Zimbabwe. Perhaps, after hearing that indictment by the observer missions, they might change their ways now that we've entered the stage of announcement of results, the stage of collation, verification of results. Now, You must know that the law allows political parties and anybody else the right to tabulate results on their own, to have comparative analysis of results on their own. So the CCC political party has been doing that. It has got its own source document. Our election agents all over the country were collecting our own V11s, as we are entitled by law to do. We have that information. Like I said, as I opened, we are not here to announce election results. What we are here to tell you is that we know results. We have information on the results. We have our source documents to support our results. If the law allowed us, we would have been telling you the results. But the law does not. We will keep our results. We will continue with the effort to verify our own results. And we are hoping that as we do so, ZEC is also doing so. But what Zimbabwe expects from ZEC is not anything out of the ordinary. What Zimbabweans expect from ZEC is transparency. You recall that before this election, all that the CCC was calling for is transparency. We called for ZEC to give us the voters' roll. They played around. They didn't. We called on ZEC and asked that we be allowed to inspect the ballots. We were refused that opportunity. Now see what then happened. In some constituencies, you would find that faces of candidates were mixed up. That would have been resolved if ZEC had allowed us to inspect the ballots before the voting day. That would not have been an issue. But it then caused a problem on election day. Because once you discover that there are mixed up faces on the ballots, you then have to stop the vote. You then have to go back and redo